And my daughter, who was a vet tech, and I was a vet tech years and years ago, can attest to that. There is nothing, when she first started doing that, that's what I told her. I says, the dogs aren't going to be a problem. Watch out for the cats. They can move they can move their bodies in ways and directions, and that you can't never, unless you've seen it, you can't imagine what a cat can do to you.
It is. I have a pair of Raby gauntlets, they're called, and they are heavy leather gloves that come up to about here on me and Kevlar lined. And they are scratched up, torn, shredded, and everybody thinks it's the dogs. Every mark on them has come from a cat.
Yeah, it's always the cat.
It's
Do
amazing.
you have any messages or any advice to people out there that are pet owners in Mansfield, or just to keep, right now I know we're having a major problem with ticks right now because of the warm weather.
Oh yes, ticks. Please try and take your animals at least once a year to a vet for a checkup. It's kind of like people; they need a physical and a check over. Check them over, especially in this warm weather, cool weather, warm weather. Ticks are back out in force. It's amazing. Just walking through the edges of the grass, I've come away with 3 or 4 on my way to pull off.
And you got to be careful. The deer ticks are very tiny.
Yes,
and
they are.
They're not easily noticeable. They're not like a regular plain old wood tick. They dog tick. They are very small, and you got to look for them. And they can, even if you frontline your animal, doesn't mean they can't hitch a ride with them.
Correct. And it can happen in a couple of weeks. We did have a small dog at the shelter, had her tested on 9/30 for Lyme disease. On 10/16, it almost looked like she was having a seizure. She could not get up. We took her. She was positive for Lyme. In the 3 weeks we had her there, a tick had gotten to her, and it came on that quick.
Wow. Yeah, no, my bull terrier has Lyme, and he was actually vaccinated against it, so it's not foolproof.
Nope, unfortunately, nothing is.
And so you do have to watch out for your animals, and just because they've had shots doesn't make them impervious to everything. You got to watch out, and also again, even if you use a frontline product or something like that, a tick repellent, they're not going to bite your dog. But they can hitch a ride into the house with them. So you got to check them. It's really bad out there right now this time of year where we've had so much different weather, and right now it's been particularly warm for this time of year.
Yes, it is.
So it is a natural. It's nature, but it's not normal. So you got to watch out. And so that, and anything else you want to mention to the audience? Anything special we need to know about keeping your dogs? How about people leave their dogs out in the cold?
Right. If the same problem we have in the summer, we have in the winter. Your dogs have a fur coat. That's great. Being stuck out without shelter, the wind cold, their temperature can drop dramatically in just 20 minutes. Really, think about you walking outside with just your shirt on and pants. No coat. How long would you stay out there? It's
and a lot less with the wind blowing.
Absolutely.
So,
they need shelter.
Yep. So give me shelter,
please.
Okay. Now tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell a little about yourself. Your family. A little background on you.
Background.
Who are you?
Who am I?
Who am I? An accountant turned animal control officer. There's got to be more to the story than that.
Well, I'm sure there was, but let's see. I was, I'm 53 years old. I've been doing this job, like I said, coming up on 22 years. I have a business degree in, like I said, accounting and business management. I got that, strangely enough, from a flight college, which is now defunct, because I couldn't fly, I found out after I got there.
Oh, okay.
So I said, why waste the tuition?
Right. They didn't have a plane, or?
No, they had a plane. I found out that I had some inner ear problems at that time, and anything over 2 Gs, I had to start to develop headaches. And they don't want somebody in an unpressurized plane who that happens to.
Yeah,
I can't understand
especially if you're at the controls.
Exactly.
Wow.
But been doing the job, and got a lovely wife, Teresa, and a few cats at home. Still looking for the right dog for the last one that unfortunately had cancer.
I know that's so horrible when they go, and there's no worse feeling than opening that door and no dog on the other side of it. Yeah. And anybody out there who has a dog or has had a dog, you know what we're talking about here. And also, a cool thing about dogs is people don't realize dogs can count. They can count. And if you don't, you could try a simple experiment. Put 3 dog biscuits in your pocket and only give the dog 2. Right? And you'll see. Dogs can count. And it's nothing to do with the smell or anything. They know. So you try it yourself. Try this at home. We'll have a test next week.
All right.
So anyways, well, I want to thank you. One thing I want to talk now, if people need to get a hold of you for some reason, how do we get a hold of you? How do we get a hold of the animal control officer if it's like a routine thing? I mean, do you do routine things, or is everything an emergency?
No, everything is, there are many routine things. I take care of the animal shelter in the morning usually, feeding, cleaning. I have several volunteers who help in the evenings as well as the mornings now. But I also have patrols. I try and drive through the town, just like you would see the police officers cruising.
I see you.
And looking, sometimes it's, hi, I've heard a barking dog, or I've had some dogs loose in this area. I try and keep an eye on that area for a little extra time. But the normal way, you can call the Mansfield Animal Shelter during the day, 8 to 5.
Now, what's the number down there? Maybe we'll get it on the screen.
That would be area code 508-261-7339.
Okay.
If not, or you get an answering machine, which does happen as I am in and out of there a lot, you can call the Mansfield Police on their business line. It's 508-261-7300, and they can almost always raise me on a radio, which
Sure.
I took off coming in here today.
The electronic leash.
Yes.
All right. Even the animal control officer has a leash.
Absolutely.
Well, great. I want to thank you. This has actually been a very interesting show, and hopefully people at home will feel the same way, and maybe you learned something. And it's good to know who Jeff is. You see him around town. He drives a great big van that says animal control on it. So
very new. Thank you.
Yeah, brand new after years of suffering through
cruisers and donations and other things. It was very nice.
Soapbox derby car and everything else. But no, it's very good, and it's a hard job that you do, and it's a good job that you do, and you provide a very good service for the town, and you definitely fly under the radar. I would say that's an accurate statement, and you do a good job doing that, and I want to thank you for the job you do. And it is very important, and being an animal lover, I know these things and I understand, and and for those of you out there who are also animal lovers, you get the point. So that's good. So I want to thank Jeff Collins, Mansfield Animal Control Officer, for joining us, and we're going to wrap it on up here. I will say in closing, though, again, if you want to get a hold of us, if you have a question, if you want to remark about the show, one way or the other, you liked it, you didn't like it, you want to see it again, we can arrange that too. The all-purpose way to get a hold of us is on our email at mansfieldkitchensink@gmail.com. Again, right there. And thanks again to Jack O'Neill. And also, we are on Facebook at Everything But the Kitchen Sink TV show. We are on talkmansfield.org. For myself and Jeff, we want to wish you all a happy and healthy Thanksgiving. Yep. Go Hornets.
Go Hornets.
Okay. Remember, it's a football game, not a massacre. Okay, just 75-0 is fine. We'll be happy. No, do your best. Football players do a great job, and we're behind you all the way. And next time, until next time, we're going to let it go for now. I want to thank you for having my kitchen in your living room. And this is Dan Pascucci, and you're watching Everything But the Kitchen Sink.
The love are hanging on, we push and shove. Possession is the motivation that is hanging up. The goddamn nation looks like they always end up in a rut. Everybody now trying to make